Wait. Ho! Ah! Ho! Ah! Eh? Oh! Ho! Hiya! Ah! Hey everyone, Linkachu64 here, and put bluntly, Breath of the Wild is awesome. I'm just gonna cut right to the chase. Breath of the Wild is amazing. After spending 40 plus hours with the game, it's just fantastic. There are very few bad points to it, if any, really, and I just wanted to give my other impressions of it in this video. So let me, before I go any further, let me point out three things before you watch any further. This is not a review. I don't feel qualified to do reviews. I'm not a big YouTuber or anything. I don't have a big name. And B, I actually haven't finished the game. These are just my general impressions, things I really like about the game, and things that, just a couple things that I'm not super fond of, but let's be honest, there are very few of those. And also, I'm gonna do my best to not talk about spoilers as much as possible. Of course, at this point, you've probably seen a lot of Breath of the Wild anyway. Anyways, enough with that. I'm just gonna get right into talking about it. So like I said at the beginning of the video, this game is fantastic. I mean, after watching all the reviews and stuff, this game is getting phenomenal reviews, nearly perfects across the board. Nearly across the board, and for good reason. I mean, to start off with, Breath of the Wild, it just breaks the conventions of every previous Zelda game. I mean, you're not getting pieces of heart, instead you're going through shrines and getting spirit orbs, and if you get 4 of those, then you get a heart or a stamina vessel, and it's like, it's so different. That alone is just so different, not getting pieces of heart and searching for those. Instead, you're just looking for shrines. I'll talk about the shrines in a bit. The other thing is, I mean, other just little things that I really like about it that are different from Zelda games, like boomerang throwing. Like, in any other Zelda game, you just press the button, throw the boomerang out, comes right back to you. No problem whatsoever. And this, I mean, the boomerang actually follows physics. I mean, that's just so cool. You actually have a dedicated button for throwing it, and you have to catch it on the way back. If it runs up against a wall, you gotta go chase after it. If you miss catching it, it goes behind you. In addition, also at fairy fountains, or great fairy fountains, I don't remember the name, but you can catch fairies without jars. There are no load times whenever you enter a house. I mean, just little things like that just make this game so... It's just the little touches that are amazing. I mean, and in addition, so the biggest breaking convention of any time is the massive open world. I mean, for crying out loud, you start off at the very beginning of the game, walk out there, and you're like, you look at this giant thing, you see Mount Death Mountain off in the background, you can see the dueling peaks, or the dual peaks, and you're like, I can explore all of that. And it's just such a phenomenal experience, just a phenomenal feeling of I can go anywhere I want. Let me just say also that can be kind of overwhelming at times. I mean, I don't know about anybody else, but it's just, there's this sense of I can go anywhere, and at times it can just be like, but I want to do everything. But no person who has a regular life outside of this can explore everything within like a decent amount of time. I mean, we're probably going to be playing this game for years to come, guys. It's just that huge, and whenever I start feeling overwhelmed, I go back to previous areas. Generally, I start feeling overwhelmed at like whenever I open up a new region, do a new tower or something, activate a new tower, and then it's like, wow, here's this entire new region where I don't know anything about it yet, and I get to go explore, and it's pretty awesome, the open world. Another thing I just want to talk about is the shrines. Oh my gosh, is anyone else just in love with the shrines? I mean, they're these bite-sized dungeons. Like, fun-sized dungeons, where it's like you can go in, spend 5 to 10 minutes, and then come right back out. And there's always a chest, an unlockable item, and they're spread so perfectly throughout the world, where they both provide a teleportation system and a fun challenge. And I gotta say, I think my favorite type of shrines are the ones where you're fighting enemies. Fighting the little mini guardians. Those are really engaging battles, where you really have to think out your options and time things correctly, and those are my favorites. Also, the puzzle ones are a lot of fun, and I also like the ones where you have to complete a quest in order to get to the shrine, and then it just gives you the spirit orb and the treasure chest right there. So, I mean, just shrines are amazing in general. So another thing I gotta say is, you know, again, this is just my general impressions. I'm just kind of talking all over the place, but I kind of regret using Amiibo for this. Like, whenever you scan Amiibo in, like, they give you some pretty overpowered stuff. Like, I think I scanned in my Guardian Amiibo back here. This thing's awesome, by the way. But I scanned in a Guardian Amiibo, and I automatically got a 60 power axe. And, oh wait, no, maybe it was 30. But that was right from the get-go, right from, like, at the very start, whenever I was still using, you know, level 12 power stuff, and that was, like, my biggest thing, is like, oh, I have a 12 power Hero's Broadsword, wow, that's crazy, and getting this was, like, godlike. But, anyway, but I think the thing I regret most about using an Amiibo in this is, using my Smash Brothers link. It gives you Epona. Like, anytime you want, you just scan in Smash Bros. Link and get a fully maxed out, fully bonded, no need to train it, Epona. And, I don't know, I feel like I kind of got spoiled in that way, because I haven't really gotten to train up a horse, and it's like, I could just, totally reject Epona at any time, but I don't want to. Epona rides so fast, and, anyways, if you're gonna take my recommendation, don't scan Amiibo in this game. It takes an element of fun out of it, I think. Oh, speaking of horses, number one gripe I have about this, just little minor gripes, really. This one is just a minor gripe, is I don't really like horse riding that much. I mean, I like it, but it's just kind of clunky to manage. Like, you can let your horse just ride for you if you're on a path, but if you're trying to ride anywhere off a path, it can just be so much of a pain, I'll be honest. Just trying to steer it in general can be kind of, just go a little bit, and you're either going full speed, super fast, where it's hard to steer at all, or you're going at, like, a kind of, not a snail's pace, but kind of a moderate pace that's like, well, it gives me good turning, but I'm going, like, it's, that's one minor gripe I have about it. I mean, horse riding is still fun. Don't get me wrong, it's a little clunky. Alright, so, after talking about that, let's say another thing that I really like about this. So I'm not going to consider this a spoiler, but in case that you're one of those people that hasn't picked up Breath of the Wild yet, and you just really don't want to know anything about it, skip about 45 seconds ahead, but starting now. So, the Blood Moon. I really like the Blood Moon and the way it works. How it provides this really cool difficulty curve. It updating the enemies new times. Like, I remember going back to the Great Plateau, after playing the game for about 25 hours or so, and seeing black bokoblins back at the Great Plateau, and those are the toughest bokoblins. But I remember, at the very beginning of the game, you don't see black bokoblins at all, and it's just really cool how going back to these other old places that you used to visit before and seeing, oh my gosh, wow, the enemies are actually kind of tougher now, and with that, they drop more powerful weapons, and it just, I like that difficulty curve, that where there's no going back to an area that's like, you can kill enemies with one hit. They constantly are getting upgraded and better and stronger, because Ganon is getting better and stronger. So, anyway, that's what I have to say about the difficulty curve. I've also got to say that I really like the armor system. I really like getting clothes and stuff, because you know, when in past Zelda games you were just locked into one piece of clothing for the entire game and that was it. And really, I mean, clothes are essential in this game. Like, have you ever tried fighting a Lionel without using upgraded clothes? Whoo, boy, they will kill you to death in like 2 hits, and a blue main Lyle will get you in 1. That's why the Great Fairy Fountains are really that essential in this game. You really need to upgrade your clothing as much as possible, because it really is the difference between taking out half, an enemy taking out half your health and then taking out a quarter of a heart. I like that you can change your clothes, constantly be changing it, and constantly be upgrading it. I think it's the most important upgrade in the game, quite honestly. It's another thing I really like is cooking. Cooking is so much fun. You never know what you're gonna get. And you gotta be practical about things too, because sure, you can take a ton of meat and shove it into one dish, but that's gonna end up giving you a meal that will recover 20 of your hearts, even though you only have 5 at the moment. So you need to be more conservative, and you just make little dishes with 1 piece of meat in it, so that, you know, you're not wasting your meat. Other things like that, where you slowly learn as you go with cooking. You don't put a heat-resistant fish and a cold-resistant fish into one dish. They'll cancel each other out. Also, if you're trying to put some sort of mushroom with a special effect in it into a dish, you can't add it in with other mushrooms, because it'll just turn into some sort of platter or something. You know, it's just little things like that. It's fun to experiment around and try different ingredients, and it's really cool. Another gripe I have about it, I wish that I had a recipe book. You know, you have the Hyrule Compendium, which keeps track of all your findings, all the photos you've taken of various animals, and I like adding to that. I wish there was something like that, except for recipes, because, you know, you kind of generally know what will do what. If I put a sun shroom and meat together, it's going to give me a cold resistant. It's going to give me something that's cold resistant, but I want to remember how to do specific recipes and stuff, and I don't know, it's just, I wish that was there. I wish I had that option of being able to save recipes, and yeah, again, really minor gripe. In addition, another minor gripe I have is I absolutely love how not handholdy this game is. From the very start, even like the tutorial area really isn't a tutorial area. Because you're still doing all the stuff that you would normally do outside the Great Plateau. Sometimes I think it was a little bit more hand-holding, because up until this point, like, especially with inventory upgrading, you know how you get the Korok seeds? I'm not going to talk too much more about it, but up until recently, I have still only had 7 inventory space for my weapons, and like 6 for my bows, and 4 for my 4 for shields. And I'm about 40 hours in, and I mean, I wish, and then I had to, eventually I'm like, okay, I know that I'm able to upgrade my inventory, but I haven't found it yet. I haven't found the place where I could do that yet. And so eventually I just had to look it up online, and I'm going to be doing that soon, probably sometime tomorrow. But I wish that I had known about inventory upgrade, because I feel like that up to this point, that would have been a really useful thing to have, to be able to hold more than 4 stinking shields, for crying out loud. And I like that you have to, you know, you kind of have to look out and find it by yourself. But it's not like I was completely ignorant of it. It's just that, you know, I've only unlocked about 8 regions so far. There are still 7 left. And the one with the inventory upgrade in it is one of those regions I haven't found yet. And going 40 hours in, it would have been so nice to have those extra slots, but because it didn't even give me a hint. It gave me a hint, but it didn't tell me in what direction or where the general area that the inventory upgrade place could be found. And so I wish it was a little bit more handheld. Before I finish, I just want to finish off with 2 things I really, really love. The battle system and currency. The battle system, let me talk about that first. The battle system is so difficult. Until you start getting armor upgrades and stuff, until you start getting better clothes. But it's so rewarding. The payoff is so good once you actually defeat that one enemy that was taking you forever. It's just... And additionally, you really have to scout out your territory. You really have to think, okay, how can I use my weapons, my various weapons, and their elemental abilities, and the environment to my advantage? Should I jump off of this cliff and come in on them and shoot them all with bomb arrows? Or should I just sneak in and take them out one by one? It's those little things that are really cool about it. And whenever you're taking on really tough enemies, again, there are so many attacks and maneuvers at your disposal that by the end you really end up feeling like you're pulling off all these awesome moves and backflipping and sidestepping. It's so good. And then the currency system. One gripe I have always had with the Zelda series is that the currency system is so broken. Like, except for maybe the original Legend of Zelda, you would always upgrade your wallet to the fullest it could get, and then fill it out to the max with rupees. And then you'd have nothing to buy. It's like everything was so inexpensive and rupees were so easy to find that it kind of broke the rupee system. Whenever you got rupees as a reward, either your wallet was full, or it's like, okay, thanks, rupees, but I don't have anything to spend it on. That is not the case with this. Oh my word, that is so not the case with this. You can buy a house for 3,000 rupees. I mean, and there's no, as far as I can tell, I don't think there's a limit on how many rupees you can have. If you want to buy a bunch of arrows, then that can easily cost you 600 rupees right there. Everything that you want to buy costs, and it costs hard, and I love it. And you don't just find rupees anywhere. You'll find them in treasure chests, you'll find them in boxes occasionally, but you will not find them in grass. And I think that was the key right there. Before, you could just find rupees wherever the heck, inside grass, anywhere. And now that they're a lot harder to find, you really value each one. And they disappear real fast too because everything is expensive. And I love it. I love how it's not broken, and it goes back to the original Zelda in that sense, where in Zelda 1, everything was expensive. You really had to save. If your shield got taken away, that was devastating because you knew you had to save up a good 60 to 90 rupees, and you were basically powerless until you did. And I love how they're going back to that. Anyway, I just love this game so much so far, and I'm really looking forward to just doing the rest of the areas, the rest of the 7 regions that I haven't completed. Actually 8, because I haven't even finished the Goron area yet, so. Anyway, guys, what do you think? No way. Anyways, just a phenomenal game. And the only gripes I have with it are completely minor. It totally deserves all the attention that it gets, and does not deserve all the Metacritic reviews that users are giving it. What the heck, people? Come on. Don't be that way. Anyways, again, this isn't a review, but if it were a review, I would definitely rate it very positively. Obviously. So, anyways, guys, thanks for watching my video, and I'll see you in the next one. Well, hello again. Thanks for watching my video. I really appreciate it. Again, I must ask you, why would you do this to yourself? This is probably unhealthy, and you should be watching something else, but you watched me, and you don't even understand how much I appreciate it. If you liked it, why don't you comment down below? What other things do you like about Breath of the Wild? And do you plan on picking it up if you haven't already? While you're down there, like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. You can subscribe to my channel right here, and you can check out my latest video down here. I also have an Instagram. That'll be in my, that's in my channel art if you want to check that out. So, anyways, guys, I'll see you in the next one.